In today's news, a white swan is approaching, and Wall Street have indirectly confirmed that Ripple and XRP was the cause and is the cause of this inevitable white swan. The XRP is the key to trillions flooding into the crypto market, the key to financial freedom. Dissimilar to a black swan, an unpredictable event that spells disaster wherever it goes, a white swan is a predictable event that spells good fortune and tremendous growth in the crypto markets. And Wall Street, in this instance Fidelity, have recently confirmed that the biggest white swan event that could ever happen in our history, in our industry, is just a regulatory clarity. Listen closely.
And so if we were to get a market structure bill in the US, which I think is one of probably the biggest white swans that could happen to our industry, is just regulatory clarity on whether certain tokens or securities or commodities, how they should operate, what it takes to be an ATS venue. I think that's a big unlock. And if you can get some of the larger market participants, the Fidelities and the BlackRocks and some of the larger custodians behind a market structure bill, then I think you really start to see this real world asset narrative get some legs in a way that it hasn't.
Now this is very big news and crucially important because we have another clip here, a short clip here, again from Wall Street, but this time from Citibank, a known Ripple partner, confirming that without clear regulations in place, they and other large banks will not operate in the United States.
Regulatory standpoint, it's not permissible for us to hold crypto, right? So until that changes, we continue to keep an eye on the market and experiment and work. We have innovation lab that does great work working with a lot of fintechs out there. But until that regulation changes, and it has to be clear, that gray area, large financial institutions are not going to operate in. And here this week, it's been really positive hearing from a lot of the senators and legislators out there talking about the changes that are coming. But until that is 100% clear, we just won't operate in that area.
So evidently here, this is Wall Street confirming that regulations are key and therefore indirectly confirming that Ripple and XRP is the key to the regulatory developments taking place in the United States right now. Remember this document from Congress themselves, Myths versus Fact for the Fit 21st Century Act. The second bullet point here clearly states the XRP decision in July 2023 was determined that XRP was only part of an investment contract when offered directly by Ripple to institutional investors. The decision called into question the SEC's position that practically all digital assets are securities. The SEC's policy was rejected by the court, which highlights the need for legislation. We are only where we are at right now. Now we are starting to see questions asked of the SEC and the policies making in the United States. Everything we are seeing is thanks to Ripple and XRP. Ripple is the key to the imminent approaching white swan, the regulations being created before our eyes, and we can see in this clip here from Congress themselves, Chairman French Hill pushing the agenda of regulations and the need for blockchain, for tokenization in this new coming financial system. Pay close attention.
Last month, the committee made history by ushering in comprehensive digital asset market structure legislation across the House floor with strong bipartisan support. This came on the heels of strong bipartisan support to repeal Staff Accounting Bulletin 121 so that regulated financial institutions would be able to custody digital assets. Although our work with digital assets is far from done, I'm delighted that the subcommittee's focus today will now shift to other related topics. The tokenization of real-world assets is one such area that I'm particularly interested in getting into today. Because tokenizing real-world assets involves blockchains or distributed ledger technology, some might view tokenization as a mere extension of the digital asset conversation that we've been having in this committee for over a year. However, it deserves its own distinct conversation and prioritization. While digital assets are generally issued and managed on blockchain networks, tokenization can bring traditional finance, quote, on-chain. To put this in a different context, tokenization can leverage the efficiency and transparency of blockchains to help modernize U.S. markets.
But that is not all, as we have the DTCC here, who is also looking for regulatory clarity in the digital asset and tokenization space so they can continue to grow and assist the US economy, the US government, Congress, and Wall Street have become very active as of late in the development and rolling out of new policies to allow institutional money to safely enter the crypto space. It was recently announced that BlackRock and Citadel are financing a new Texas stock exchange to rival NYSE and NASDAQ because they want to be an open venue that has less rules and less restrictions.
How hard is it to actually build and launch an entirely new exchange?
That's right, Katie. Well, they first have to get approval from regulators. So they will file with the SEC. Once that gets done, they have to actually then gain momentum. They actually have to see the trading start to happen. And whenever you have a new exchange, really what needs to happen first is that the volumes increase and that incentivizes investors and market makers to route to that exchange. Really, if there's increased liquidity, that means that there's going to be better pricing more often. And that's why NYSE and NASDAQ, in growing their own liquidity, have been able to keep such dominance and keep their volumes so high over time. It does seem like they're targeting corporations that would go to NYSE and NASDAQ, but might be frustrated with some of the new rules and regulations, the compliance that is put in place. Think about NASDAQ's board diversity program that they have put in that might limit some companies that don't meet the certain threshold that is placed for listing on NASDAQ. If they still want to go public but don't meet the threshold, they might choose the Texas Stock Exchange. That is really what this business is targeting. They want to be an open venue that has less rules, less restrictions than NYSE and NASDAQ. They're going to really promote themselves as the welcoming Texas state that is welcoming to companies that might not want to go through the hurdles that they would see in New York.
And again, need I remind you that we wouldn't be where we are at right now with the state of regulation in the United States, which is getting better and better every day without Ripple and XRP. You can hate this project all you want, you can FUD XRP's price, which is very stagnant, but that is a matter of fact. We are where we are at right now for the Ripple and XRP is going to be the one to lead this charge and an explosive price movement. And in some very bullish developments surrounding Wall Street once again, it looks like XRP may be getting a new listing on Robinhood in the very near future. Now I should clarify that Robinhood is a stock exchange that has expanded to incorporate crypto as well, and whereas technically Robinhood isn't directly part of Wall Street, they are a huge piece of the puzzle that helps connect retail investors like you and me with the financial markets with Wall Street. Robinhood has acquired a global cryptocurrency exchange Bitstamp to accelerate crypto trading adoption. The extremely popular retail trading app will be soon going fully crypto and eventually tokenized stocks, which is a very, very big deal, and Ripple owns a stake in Bitstamp, so potentially XRP will be on Robinhood very, very soon. A very, very bullish announcement. So that is the long and short of it. Optimism, speculation for a listing of XRP and the new Ripple stablecoin on Robinhood is growing as Bitstamp strongly supports the XRP ledger, having already issued 6 stablecoins on the XRPL: the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound sterling, the Australian dollar, and the Swiss franc. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says, "We believe crypto will fundamentally reorganize the financial system," which sounds very similar to what Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has been preaching for the past few years. And when Fox Business journalist Elena Terrett reached out to Vlad Tenev about the timing of Robinhood's Bitstamp announcement in relation to the Wells notice it received last month from the SEC for its crypto biz, he stated, well, it's a global business, but really didn't think about the fact that it was the SEC's birthday today. Evidently, Vlad Tenev and Robinhood, they are not scared or worried about the SEC anymore, hence why he's making these sort of jokes, and rightly so. The SEC seemingly has lost their power and their respect. And everything is coming full circle. Ripple, Bitstamp and Robinhood, Wall Street waiting for regulations that Congress are desperately trying to enforce right now. All of this is thanks to Ripple, and better still, once the lawsuit is over and done with, these institutions, the US institutions, Citibank, BlackRock and all the rest of them, all the ones that are still waiting, they will be greenlighted to start adoption of XRP, being the only asset in the US with legal regulatory clarity. Ripple's president Monica Long said something similar in this interview yesterday, that in the US, XRP is a special asset.
Yes, they're going to create that opportunity for more differentiation and like more telling the story or like, peek behind the curtain of like what is happening in this world of crypto, like between Ethereum and Bitcoin and XRP Ledger and others, like, what's the differentiation?
And I guess the natural next question is, do you think an XRP ETF will be next?
I do. I think that makes a lot of sense. One, in the US, XRP and Bitcoin are the only two crypto assets with any kind of clarity. Through the judge's ruling in our SEC case last year, she said XRP in and of itself is not a security. So it's kind of a special asset in the US market in that way.
An XRP ETF is coming in very shortly, as is an IPO, as is regulatory clarity. Multiple major catalysts are coming on the horizon for XRP, which is why XRP's price is going to explode and it can't remain dirt cheap. Don't look short term, think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.